is Richelle Webb Dixon, and I am Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for Froedtert Hospital in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm also very proud to say that I'm a board member of NALHE and one of the past presidents for the National Association of Health Service Executives, NACE. The question around a woman in history that I would look to as a leader, ironically, I use Harriet Tubman. And most people don't consider her or would think about her when they talk about who's a leader. And the reason I chose her, and it's been several years, I was asked this question several years ago and doing my research, there was a quote attributed to her that said, "I could have freed more slaves if they believed they were so." And that for me talks about the mind of the leader or the goal of the leader. And it is to ensure that you help influence people and help them see what they're not able to see today. And so I think about that quote as a woman, as an abolitionist who's trying to help free people, that if she could help them understand the circumstance they were in and the opportunities that lied ahead, that she would have been able to free more people out of slavery. Dealing with COVID-19 has impacted women, and in particular women of color, in very unique ways. If you think about women being leaders, not only in the corporate, but also in their families, and not having childcare, or not having the other resources you need that support you, that allow you to come to work, it impacts how you operate. It impacts your day-to-day. So for me, the impact on women of color, I think is significant because the infrastructure that supports us has also been hurt. And without that infrastructure, we don't show up as our whole selves. We don't show up with the support we need to be awesome. And so when I think about how do we recover from that as women of color, it is how do we repair those networks? So if we're talking about women who depend on public transportation and childcare services that aren't available, where kids aren't in school, how do we help supply those needs so they can come and do what we need to do in the workplace? For other women who may not have those concerns, how do we help them with the stress of trying to manage so many different things in the midst of the pandemic? And I think that's the piece we don't talk about a lot. But how do we help women deal with everything they deal with on a normal basis, in addition to the fact that they're dealing with the pandemic, and come out whole? Allyship is those who may not be in a certain group. So for me, I'm not a Latina, but I definitely am an ally to NALHE and work to advance the efforts of Hispanics across this country. Same with men who may not understand, or may not be a woman, and may not understand all of the things that we deal with, but they're there to be able to help us. So when the question is asked about how can allyship help us recover, I think the biggest thing that comes to my mind, the word that comes to my mind is flexibility. As women, as mothers, as sisters, as caregivers, the thing that we need the most is the flexibility. How do we manage all the different pieces of who we are, as well as show up, requires some flexibility. There may be times when we need to leave early because we don't have childcare. There may be times when we need to work from home when we don't have childcare or caring for other family members. So for me, that allyship is around understanding that there may be other circumstances or concerns going on that you may not be aware of, but how do you help break down systematic barriers that allows that person to shine? I am very honored to serve on the board of NALHE. My wish for this organization as we move forward and amplify not only the Hispanic voice, but also the voice for our women leaders, is to create a forum for women leaders. How do we help you address the concerns that are specific to women in the workplace? I would love to see that experience and have it be intimate setting where we tell the real story, right? Not the corporate presentation, but the real story of how do you survive? How do you thrive? How do you excel in leadership? And also attend to all the other aspects of being a woman, and especially a woman of color. I truly appreciate the question and the opportunity to speak to our young professionals as they continue to ascend in this career. I had the opportunity last year to speak at the NALHE Summit in Denver, and I ended the session of the panel I was moderating with the same quote that I'd like to use today. And it's I'm going to paraphrase Maya Angelou, and it talks about if you're so busy trying to be normal, you don't realize how awesome you truly can be. And that's my advice to the young professional women who are up and coming. We are coming into a world, when I entered healthcare, that was 97% white male. You're not going to be the norm, and it's okay. But all of the innovation, all of the creativity, all of the opportunities you have before you are because of your unique awesomeness. Dwell in that. Be proud of that. Showcase it. And our promise to you is as we continue to ascend, we'll knock down the doors, tear down the doors, break open the ceiling to give you the opportunity to shine. Thank you for your leadership, because I know that when we continue this journey in healthcare, that we're going to leave it in good hands. So thank you.